All right, hello and welcome to another session of Fit Essentials Basics. My name is Shauna. I'll be guiding you through class. And just as a reminder, nothing's really changed, just the voice is talking on Zoom, but I'm still the one being recorded. Those of you that are here live, you're not being recorded. If you do have a question to come on and ask a question, it will record you then. However, please don't use that as like a hindrance to like not want to ask any questions, because I can always either not upload to YouTube and or I can edit out that portion. So don't be shy. If you have questions, you're in a safe group here. All right, otherwise, let's go ahead. I wanted to say, if you have a small little step stool like I have in the back here, if that's convenient to use, or if you're near a staircase, our last little circuit will have an option to do some step ups, or I'll give you some options for some giant steps. But otherwise, we're gonna start to build some strength in those legs, stepping up on some stairs and whatnot. All right, go ahead and come on up. Our spinal cord breathing to start. You can always do this from the chair too if you've done a lot on your feet so far today. You can do as much from the chair as you'd like. Either sit tall or stand tall. If you are standing, walk those feet in, kind of check in. You want to have those toes pointing straight ahead. Make sure the knees aren't locked out, so have a little bend in those knees. We're going to breathe in, circle our arms around, bring your hands and forearms together, and then gently exhale as you kind of pull your belly button in, tuck your head down towards your chest, pause in the bottom of that exhale. And then when you're ready, you'll breathe in, lift the chest, open the arms, gently engage your glutes. See if you are comfortable to look up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, we'll do the reverse of that. Tuck it down and in, bowing forward, pulling that belly button in, kind of rounding the hips slightly. Let's go anywhere between about 3 to 4 more. Breathe and open, lengthen. Very nice. Just some nice gentle circles through the arms. Called spinal cord breathing because we're just warming up our spine, kind of moving our body through a range of motion that we don't often do on a daily basis. Inviting the shoulders to open, inviting the chest to open. Very good. Maybe one more. Down and in, and up and open. Very good. On that last exhale, go ahead and relax those arms down. You can do these hip circles from the chair as well. Otherwise, walking the feet out just a little bit wider, hands on the hips, and circle the hips through. 3 to 5 one way. And 3 to 5 the other. Fantastic. All right, you can either practice your balance, or if you want to take a seat for the next one, I'm going to show it from a chair. We're going to warm up our ankles with some ankle rolls. So either stay standing, practice your balance and roll them around, or take a seat. All right, if you do take a seat, we're just going to kind of grab onto the shin on one leg, or practicing that balance. Pick a leg to start on. You're going to pick that foot up, and we're looking to make about 5 nice big circles, lifting those toes up, pointing them. Normal to feel some pops and clicks in there. Those of you practicing your balance, if you need to set that foot down for a second, and then same thing on that same foot, but now circle it the other way. Lift the toes, point the toes, circle it through. Fantastic. Setting that side down. Same thing on your other foot. Up and in. Point, lift, circle through. Very good. And same thing other direction. All right, very nice. Place that down. And now we are going to come on up to our feet. All right. So we're going to be working on some balance exercises, but we're going to be kind of moving on the floor throughout. So if your balance is a little unsteady, if you have a wall that you can do this next to, that you can kind of help with your balance, that would be ideal. What we're going to start with, we call it a walk the line, or you could do a tandem stance where you're just standing nice and still. Otherwise, for walking the line, you're going to bring your arms up. Imagine you're walking on a tightrope, and then we're going to go heel to toe, nice and light, kind of carefully picking the feet up. And you're trying to just take nice small steps. So walk the line, walk the tightrope, taking about 3 to 5 steps on each foot forward. And then you don't have to stay on that tightrope to go backwards. If you feel a little bit unstable, you're hardly ever walking backwards, divide the feet to walk back, kind of back to your starting position. Feel free to lower those arms down, take a little bit of a break, and we're gonna do that a few more times, taking it back forward, lifting up out of your hips, shoulders down out of the ears, heel to toe, toe to heel. Nice and intentional here. And then either backwards with the feet hip width apart, going toe to heel, or if you feel pretty stable there, you can continue that backwards walk on the line, but that is definitely a lot more challenging. So kind of meet yourself where you are. I'll relax those arms down. I'm going to go about another 30 seconds, taking it forward, standing tall. It's good practice to kind of keep your eyes straight ahead, obviously making sure that your floor space is safe. Very good. There you go. And then taking it back, toe to heel, toe to heel. Very nice. All right. When you finish that one, go ahead and relax those arms down. Set the feet about hip width apart. We're going to cross the arms over our shoulders. A couple good mornings here. So a little bend in those knees. Pull your belly button in. And then nice and slow, you're going to send your hips back. Pull your chin in, looking down towards the floor. Push through your feet. Squeeze the glutes, standing straight up. Very nice. Tall chest here. Rounding forward. Not rounding, bowing forward. Chin in, look down. Push through your legs and stand. Very good. If you feel comfortable with your hands over your chest, if you want to open your upper body a little bit more, we can go hands behind the head. And then same idea from there. But now you're thinking about pulling your elbows back as you bow forward. Still looking down. Push the feet and stand. Let's go 2 to 3 more. Over, looking down, and stand straight up. Maybe one more. Just a little bow, down. And as you stand up, looking at that similar spot each time. Very good. From there, relax those arms down. One hand on the hip. Opposite hand's going to start about shoulder height. And the hand, so if this is your left hand here, just gently step your left foot back. So just a short little stagger stance there. And then you're going to reach across the body. Reaching across, getting a little bit of a shift into that back hip. Reach. Bring it back to the start. And let's just reach a little bit higher each time. There you go. Up across the level of the forehead. Get a nice side stretch through the body. One more time across there. You can either stay there, or if you're okay to go straight up to overhead, I'll take it into more of a traditional side bend. Bending to the side. If you feel stable enough, you can follow your eyes, your hand with your eyes, looking up towards your hand. Down, maybe one more. Reaching up and across, stretch, reach, and relax. Good job. Same thing, opposite side. Walk that foot in, hand on the hip, step the other one back. Starting up at the shoulder. Slight little shift here, reaching, pulling back. Good. Shifting that back hip as you reach. I breathe in as I bring my hand back and in, and then exhale as you reach across. Now to reach a little bit higher each time. Good, maybe one more across. Stay there if your shoulders say, hey, I don't want to reach overhead. Or if you're good to go up to overhead, straight overhead, seeing if you can turn the eyes, follow that hand with your gaze. About 3 times here. Reach, lower, and one more. Reach, and lower. Fantastic. All right, if your water bottle or glass of water nearby, grab a little drink. We're going to go back to a little bit of footwork. This time we're going to do a side step, a lateral walk. Depending upon your space, if you need to stay in a short space, just keep it right here, side stepping. If you're okay to step out and across your room, then we'll go about 5 steps one direction, and then about 5 steps back. You know, and adjust that number based upon what you have available to work with. Before you go back again, we'll relax those arms down for a second, raise those arms up. You can either stay tall, or I was doing just a little bit of a forward hinge here, pulling my belly button in, gently sending my hips back, or stay straight up and down. Very good. If you feel stable with that side step, if you want to add some difficulty to it, You can do a little bit of a grapevine where you cross the foot over, step it out, cross behind, step it out. Otherwise, just stay with that side step. Okay, make sure you feel stable for that grapevine. Good. We're going to take about another 20 seconds here. Fantastic. I'm going to relax those arms down. I'm going to take it one more time, down and back. Moving the feet, working a little bit of agility here. Very nice. Good, good focus. My shoulders are getting tired. I don't know about yours. And rest them down. All right, wonderful. We're going to go back to some attention on the hamstrings, but now we're going to go one leg at a time. So standing tall, walking your feet in. We're going to cross the arms over those shoulders to start. Get a little bend in the knees, heels planted, and let's take your left foot, extend it out, heel down, standing tall up out of your hips. You're going to send your hips back, bowing forward, having those toes up on that left foot, and then straight up from there. Good job. Tall chest, long spine, bowing forward, looking down. Anywhere between 3 and 5 times here. Pull that chin in. Make sure the heel of your right foot is firmly planted, even kind of gripping those toes down, kind of anchoring that foot. And last one. Over and up. Fantastic. In between legs, we're going to open up the inner thighs a little bit here. So if you want to hold on to something to balance or reach your arms straight out, you're going to walk your feet just a little bit wider than your hips, far enough that you can still keep both feet planted. And here, if I want to hold on, we're going to take it into like a little side lunge. So I kind of shift my weight to one side, making sure that knee is pushing wide, keeping the heel down, back to center, and then same thing other way. Heel down, knee pushes out, reach those arms out for that counterbalance or holding on. Now come a little bit closer. So I shift to one side, heel down, knee out. We don't want this knee diving in here. So it's out, up, and then shifting the other way, driving that knee wide. Fantastic. Center. Even one more each side if you feel okay for it. Sometimes this can be a little bit uncomfortable. Fantastic. Over and up. Good job. Walk those feet back in. We got to balance out those hamstrings. So you're going to go feet in about hip width apart, standing tall, root down into your left leg, and then you're going to reach your right foot out, heel down, toe up. From here, arms over those shoulders. Very good. Tall chest. Keep that left foot firmly planted as you bow forward. I feel it in the back of the calf on this leg. Sometimes I feel a little bit more back of the knee. Sometimes it's in the back of the thigh. It's all about where your body's holding tension on this day. That's where you'll feel it most. Good. Really keep that chest tall, Laura. There you go. Hips back. Nice, Shirley. Over and up. Let's go one more. Over and standing tall. Fantastic. Finish that leg. Walk those feet in. And just really gentle here. Think about kind of like shaking through the arms, kind of bopping up and down through the hips. Imagine if you like decided to make that noise like little kids would do, like into the fans. Use your voice. Most of you are at home without anyone around to hear you. I'm the one that looks silly online, so hey, don't worry about it. There you go. Good. And relax there. All right, we're gonna do one more, like kind of little foot activity. We're basically like using our feet in different positions than we normally do. So again, if you want to stay by the wall for balance, we're going to do 2 different ones here. First, you're going to think about turning your toes out. So imagine if you were a duck walking on the floor. We're going to reach those arms out, and then you're going to step from your heel, rolling towards that big toe. If you're comfortable lifting up a little bit off the heel, you can. Otherwise, just stick to a normal walk. Walking forward, heel to toe. Place that heel down, roll towards the toe. Good. You'd give a little lift up. You could just kind of lift up ever so slightly. Nice. And then we'll just do a normal walk backwards to your start. Good. We're going to do that one more time. The duck walk, slight toe out, standing tall. Think about exaggerating, walking from the heel towards that big toe, rolling through that foot, rolling through that foot. Good. Like one more on each foot. Good. Normal backwards walk, toe to heel, toe to heel. Yep, taking your time. Fantastic. Now what we're going to do is the opposite of that. So instead of toes out, we're going to turn the toes in. So it's like a pigeon walk. So it feels a little bit awkward. And again, just trying to go from the heel, roll into the toes, heel to toe. It doesn't have to be a real big toe in, just ever so slightly. And you can feel how it kind of works those little muscles of those legs a little bit differently. Yep. Standing tall. And then a normal walk back, toe to heel, walking back. Very good. Relax those arms down. We're going to do it one more time. Standing tall, just an ever so slight toe in. And then when you're ready, heel to toe, rolling through. Very good. Challenging the brain a little bit. The legs are like, what are we doing here? This is different than we normally work. That's the whole idea. And just a couple backward steps if you're comfortable to do so. All right, fantastic. Once you finish that, we're going to look to stretch out our hip flexors. So standing tall, right foot forward, okay? And you're going to step your left foot back. From here, you can either raise your arms up to overhead or keep that little I Dream a Genie pose with the shoulders over the hands over the shoulders. But we want to think about lifting up out of those hips. And now you're going to shift your hip forward, rock it back, rock it forward, trying to squeeze that glute. If you want to place your left hand on your left glute, you can kind of like try to contract that muscle into your hand, rocking it back, rocking it forward, squeeze. Good, couple more, back and forward, lifting up through that hip. Last one, back, forward, lift, squeeze, and relax. Fantastic. Walk that left foot in, hands on the hips in between sides. Instead of hip circles this time, let's rock the hips side to side. Just nice and gentle. Stretch out some of those little small muscles of the side of the hip. Very nice. And then when you're ready, place your left foot down nice and solid. Step your right foot back ever so slightly, either up on, raising them up high or over the shoulders. Remember, you can take that right hand onto that right butt cheek, the glute of the back leg, squeeze into it, send that hip forward. Good, back, forward. If you're reaching those arms up, lifting up out of the chest. Couple more, back, forward, lift and open. Great to have you, Anne. If you can turn your camera on, we're always happy to see your smile. Maybe one more, rock it back, rock it forward, and relax those arms down. Fantastic. Your water's nearby. Let's keep yourself hydrated. Grab another drink. We're going to do a behind the back stretch next. If it's challenging for you to grab your hands behind you, if you have a towel nearby, one of those TheraBands, you can use that to assist. If you are able to interlace your hands behind you, you're either going to grab onto the band behind you or the towel or interlace your fingers. Set your feet just outside the hips, trying to straighten those elbows out, pulling the shoulders back, lifting that chest. And here's where we tend to go into that sway back posture. So think front of the ribs down. You can either stay here, just kind of trying to pull in those arms behind you, or add the forward fold. Root down into your legs, send those hips back and gently bowing forward, pulling those arms up to overhead. And use your breath here, whether you're standing or bowing forward. Take a nice deep breath into the back of the rib cage. Try to expand, try to send that oxygen into the different parts of the lungs. Exhale, one more breath. Breathe out if you are bowing forward. Come on up. And everybody release those hands. Whew. All right. We're going to take a seat, couple stretches for the hips, and then we'll get into our next piece. All right. Go ahead and have a seat, sitting nice and tall. Standing tall, place your right foot nice and solid, and let's start with your left. Similar to those ankle rolls if you did them seated earlier, you're going to lift that foot up. And now we're going to try to hook that foot on the opposite side of the knee and a little glute stretch here, hugging that leg in, kind of opening up this outer part of the hip. Nice, smooth breathing. Maybe one more. And release that foot down. Good job. Same thing other side. Sitting tall, hug it in, hook that foot around. And use that upper body. So watch the posture of the upper body as you stretch here. Shoulders back, chest up, and pulling it back and in. Laura, I'm not sure if maybe you have a little something like right in front of your camera, but I can only kind of see the top part of your screen, or maybe there's just even a little bit of a smudge on the front of the camera. If you get a chance to kind of, oh, there you are. Maybe it's just down towards the table. Yep, that's what it is. No problem. And release that leg when you're ready. All right, you can either stay there if that felt like a pretty strong stretch for you, or if you can go deeper into that stretch for figure 4, back to your left leg, looking to try to get that ankle above the knee on the right leg. And then sit tall. That's better, Laura. Thank you. We're going to just allow this knee to gently drop down. It shouldn't be painful, but if you'd like to use your hand, you can give a little overpressure here. Sitting tall, sometimes that will do the job. You're like, okay, I can feel that hip. If you're like, I don't feel a whole lot, as you sit tall, just ever so gently lean forward. We're going to hold about another 15 seconds here. If you're wanting to grimace or kind of cringe, if it's too much, back out of it. Good. Release when you're ready. Same thing, opposite leg. Place it down, pick it up, cross that foot over, sit nice and tall. Option of same side hand on the knee. Good. Great time to close those eyes. Give them a break from looking at the screens or just focusing in general. Watching screens a lot throughout the day, it's a lot more stressful on our eyes than when we're just, looking at regular books and newspapers. It's not as much strain. And come on out of that. All right. We're going to get a little rotational work, and then we're going to come back up to our feet. So sitting on the edge of the chair so that your feet can be flat on the floor. Take your left hand, grab onto that right thigh, and then you're going to take your right hand to the right shoulder. We're going to do our spinal twist. Option of crossing this leg over or just keep it flat on the ground. But use this left hand to kind of pull yourself around and then turn your head so you're looking over your right shoulder. And then we're going to add our elbow circles. Getting that shoulder blade moving up and down, up and back, following it with the eyes. As your eyes move, your spine tends to follow. So we'll go 3 to 5 times here, or 3 to 5 times more. Probably ends up being close to 10, and then release, and same thing other side. Sitting tall. Now your right hand comes over to your left thigh, your left hand comes to the left shoulder. Turn the body. Option of crossing the leg and circle that elbow through. Trying to breathe in and out the nose as able here. And 2, 1, and relax there. Fantastic. All right, we're going to make our way on up. We're going to be doing a lower body exercise and then an upper body. It's going to be a single arm. You're going to curl and press overhead. If you have anything while I'm talking here, if you want to kind of reach and stretch a little bit side to side. If you have anything going on with your shoulders, if you don't want to do the overhead reach, you could just do a bicep curl throughout, just curling the arm up and down. Same idea. If you have something going on with your bicep for whatever reason, you could just do the overhead portion, right? If none of that works, just kind of try to keep your upper body moving throughout, and then we're going to be doing a lower body movement in between. So make your way on up. We're going to use the first round of the lower body pieces as a nice warm up here. So you're going to stand, first ones, we're going to do a little toe touch before we get into it. So standing tall, have your feet about hip width apart, toes pointing straight ahead. Pulling the belly button in, you're going to slide the hands down the thighs, nice and strong, just a little bend in your knees and just a little toe touch here. Seeing how far you can comfortably reach. Take one breath there in the bottom, and then when you're ready, push through your feet, glide your way back up, bringing your hips under, coming up to the top. Roll those shoulders back and down, and then if you're comfortable to do so, you're going to take your hands onto the small of your back, kind of like palms in towards your back, little bend to those knees, and it doesn't have to be far. Just pull the shoulders back so you can turn the head up, just gently looking up towards the ceiling. Squeeze the glute, protect that back, and release. Very good. So depending upon that range of motion, now we're going to go back to more of that good morning. So feet about hip width apart, toes straight ahead, either over the shoulders or behind the head. We did this one earlier. Little bend in those knees, and now you can bow forward, Good job. Long spine there. Very good. That's great. Flat back and standing straight up. Good. So we're going to bow forward. It'll take about upwards of 45 seconds here. Over and up. Very nice. Long spine. Over and up. We've got about 30 seconds left. If you have a light weight nearby, if you want to hold it against your chest, add a little weight to it, you can. And we'll go right back to it. Bowing down. Standing tall. 15 seconds left. Pull that belly button in as you bow forward, over, and up. Maybe one or two more. Long spine, nice flat back, holding strong. Down, and 2, 1, and rest. All right, next is when we're going to do that curl and press to overhead. So start in your non-dominant arm. It's going to be the left arm for most. I'm going to mirror you in the right. So you're going to hold that elbow into the side. You can either stand or sit for this. So whatever is best. And when you're ready, you're going to curl into the shoulder, keeping that elbow in close, and then the option to press up to overhead. And rotate that hand as I press to overhead. Back to the shoulder, extend that elbow fully. In, curl, and then press through. Very nice. Elbow points forward. Fully extend that arm. Yep. Curl it in and drive through. Fantastic. Down, extend, in, and up. Good job. 15 seconds. I'm gonna come a little bit closer. So as I curl in my palms towards me, as I push, I'm rotating my palm away, trying to bring it right over the center of my head. Elbow forward, fully extend. I know you can't see the bottom. Last one, I curl in, and then I push and rotate. Excellent. All right, go ahead and rest there. Set that weight down. Next is gonna be some squatting. So I'm gonna do it with an assist. If you're confident with your squats, you can do it without the assist. So with the assist, I'm going to hold on to a table, a countertop, chair, even a doorway works great. Hey, there you are, Ann. And then when you're ready, driving your knees out, bringing your hips back. This time we keep our eyes up. So hold on and then drive your legs into the ground. Use those arms as much as you need. Good job. If you're not holding on, you're going to reach those arms out. Sitting back, push down through those legs, standing tall at the top. Very good. Upwards of 45 seconds here. Control, sinking back, and coming up. Wonderful. Knees drive wide. Come down as far as you can without pain. But I will say that sometimes people can get down there, come back up. It doesn't hurt every time. Just depends. You got to make that judge for yourself. Push, 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 and 2, 1, and rest. All right, opposite arm, curl and press. So feel free to take a seat for this one. Do a little bit more challenge and stay on your feet. All right, make sure the elbow's not out wide. So hug it into the arm, and when you're ready, curling in and push straight up. Nice. Elbow points forward. Fully extend. Curl and drive. Trying to bring that weight up to overhead. Beautiful. Good, ladies. Fully extend. In and up. Forward and down. Nice. Keep that breathing smooth. You can also put your non-working arm right on the upper part of your abdomen here, especially those of you standing. That will help to keep a check on that ribs so that they don't arch up. Open, 10 seconds left. 1 or 2 more. Curl, push, elevating that shoulder up, down, and 3, 2, 1, and rest. Very good. Go ahead and grab a drink. Shirley, we lost your camera. I don't know, maybe you're on the telephone, but if you can turn your camera back on, it's always great to see you all. All right, grab a drink. You're welcome to stick with that good morning like we did on that first round, or if you're comfortable with a deadlift, I'm going to go to a deadlift next. I've got a kettlebell here. I'm going to hold it right between my legs. You could also hold a dumbbell. So set those feet about hip width apart, standing tall, and when you're ready, bowing forward. There you are. Good to see you, Shirley. Drive those knees out, pulling that chin in, push through your legs, and stand. Good. Bowing forward, knees drive wide, standing straight up. Good job. Keeping that weight close to the center of the body. And if that toe touch is tough for you, I see you trying, Shirley. It's coming on and off. It's all good. Keep it moving. You're doing great. Try not to get too mad at technology. Bow down, chin in, looking down. Remember, I'm not the best example of the head position because I'm trying to watch it best as possible. Fantastic setup, Laura. That looks great. Maybe one more. Control down and stand. Good, and rest. All right, don't worry, Shirley, if you missed that one, we got one more round of that. We're going back to that left arm curl and press next. So lighter weight, elbow in, and here we go. You can take a seat for this one. Curl, pushing straight up. Elbow forward, fully extend. Good. Those of you standing here with me, make sure you just have a little play in those knees. Just a little bend, forward and down. Wonderful. Curl, press. Excellent. Good. Down and open. Good. Hand on the waist works as also. In, up, forward, down. That's 30 seconds. Another 15 if you feel good for it. We want to try to avoid going to failure here. You know, if it's starting to burn a little bit, that's one thing, building some strength. But if you get to where your whole arm is shaking or anything, I just rest there. Down and open. Last one. And rest. Good job. Squatting is next. If you want to hold your weight for your squat, you can. Otherwise, set that weight down. Feel free to continue to hold on, or you could even switch to where you start to squat to the chair. I'll show it that way. Set those feet slight toe out, and when you're ready, reach those arms out. Control down. You are sitting in the chair. Try to sit down as softly as you can. Try to use those muscles, sit into that chair, and then drive through your feet, chest tall. Down, 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 pulling that belly button in to support that spine. Excellent. Good. Great depth on those, Laura. Reach those arms out, sending those hips back. Breathe. Good. There you go, Shirley. Reach lower and up. Awesome. Last one. Down and stand. All right, good work. Take about 15 seconds. Opposite arm, curl and press. So your right arm more than likely. 2, 1, here we go. Curl and press. I'm going to rotate that hand so palm points forward when you're overhead. Hand on the hip or on the belly here. Up, forward, and down. Good. So Shirley, watch that overhead position. We don't want to press away from our head. We want to press straight up. Yep. That's better. Fantastic. Good. If you want to imagine trying to bring your fist or that weight right over the center of the head. That's 30 seconds. About another 15 here. Good. There you go. And good, Laura. Open that arm. Curl it in. Drive. Awesome, Shirley. Great overhead reach. 2, 1, and everybody rest. All right, we're gonna take about 30 seconds. I'm gonna take you through one more round of that. Grab a drink. So we backed those deadlifts, or you can stick with that good morning, bowing forward and standing. And maybe you have some lighter dumbbells, but you have 2 of them, then you could hold them on each side of the body and you'll have your feet a little bit closer. All right, standing tall, 2, 1, when you're ready, little bend in the knees, long spine. Don't feel like you have to go all the way to the ground. Maybe you just go to about knee height, just far enough that you don't feel any strain. Squeeze that bum, stack those shoulders over the hips as you stand tall. Down, standing as tall as I can without arching back. Good job. Bowing forward and straight up. Awesome, good. Smile as you stand, bowing forward. Pushing through your legs. Beautiful. That's just over 30 seconds. Feel free to rest there if you've had enough, or a couple more times. Taking it forward. Standing straight up. 2, 1, and rest. All right, curl and press. Last time on your non-dominant arm. Elbow into the side. Little bend in those knees, hand on the hip or belly. When you're ready, curl. And elevate through that shoulder, rotate the palm, elbow forward and down. Good job. Work the bicep and push Awesome. Forward and down. Good. Keeping it close as you press overhead and in, straight up. That's better. Nice, Shirley. That side looks great. Curl and up. Good. Try to wake up the bum. Still try to squeeze those muscles of the lower body too. That's 30 seconds. There you go. Wonderful. Good reach. Maybe one or two more. In, elevate, down, and open. 2, 1, and everybody rest. All right. Just the squats next. So any of the versions that are best for you, you can hold on and squat back. You can squat to the chair, or I'm going to show this round, just reaching those arms out. So set those feet, slight toe out, help those hips open. And then when you're ready, here we go. Sitting back, reaching out. Good work. And stand. Very nice. Good focus. Back, 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 back. Chest up, eyes up. Push through your feet. We're not letting any parts of the feet come off the ground. So I'm pushing my big toe down, kind of gripping those toes and keeping those heels firmly planted. Drive and stand through. Woo, that's 30 seconds. Control. Awesome. And up. Wonderful. One or two more. Back, back, back. Standing tall. And everybody rest. All right, we just got to balance out that upper body. So same thing, opposite arm. Rest breaks coming. 3, 2, 1. When you're ready, curl, push up, forward, and down. Nice. In, up. Good. Curl. Elevate that shoulder, elbow forward, open. Nice. Stay with it. Good breathing. That's 30 seconds if anybody wants to pause there. Otherwise, final 15. A little bit longer intervals than we normally do today. Woo. And 3, 2, 1, and everybody rest. All right, set that down. Let's loosen up those hips in that back. Let's go back to a little bit of hip circles here. So hands on the hips, circle those hips around. Sometimes when our back gets stiff, you know, we always kind of look to the back, but you also want to look at all the muscles and all the joints that kind of surround the back. So the hips, also that side body. So side stretches can be great for the low back if we have tension there. So you can do it standing or seated. You can reach up, stretch to one side after those hip circles. Good, back to center and gently take it at the other side. If your upper body's had enough, you could even do a side stretch with the hands on the shoulders, or I just lean to one side. Think about lifting my shoulder up and across and then back to center, and same thing other way, leaning to the other side and down. Good. Wonderful. And then just some nice gentle rotations. Wonderful. All right, we have one more circuit left. It's going to be 2 rounds through. We're going to be doing a little bit of some upper body work with a bent over row. And this is where we're going to have the option if you have a little step stool or a little staircase nearby. It's going to be a little bit different than we did last week. So this time, if you have the step stool, you're going to have whatever foot up on it, and you're going to keep that foot on the stair throughout. So just the other leg comes down, and this one comes up and forward. Okay, anyone that doesn't have a step stool, you'll be doing our reverse giant step, where you step one foot back and then step up from there. Back and up. But that's going to be our second exercise. We're going to start with a bent over row. So I just wanted to show those 2 options, and you can make whatever adjustments or utilize whatever you'd like. Now we're going to work for upwards of 40 seconds, a little bit longer intervals. So don't feel like you have to work the whole time. And we're going to have 20 seconds in between exercises. All right. So we'll start in 20 seconds. Single arm bent over row. So probably maybe a similar weight to what you are pressing overhead, or slightly heavier. So pick what hand you're going to start with. I recommend the left side You're gonna set the feet about hip width apart. Take a nice wide handprint on your right hand. Support down, belly button pulled in, and then when you're ready, elbow comes up and in, and reaching forward. Looking straight down, reach, and row. So we're working on that positioning of the shoulder blade, building some strength in the mid-back, reaching forward, elbow high. Good. Breathe in to reach, exhale as you row. We often do 30-second intervals here, so that's 30 seconds right about now. So if you want to rest there, feel free. Otherwise, holding strong for another 10 seconds. Reaching forward, elbow high, maybe one more rep. Forward, up, and rest. Good job. Walk it forward. We're going to our step ups next, or that reverse giant step. So same side of the body, preferably. I'm going to demo those step ups. And if you feel a little bit unstable here, make sure you're next to something that you can balance. Otherwise, take your left foot, try to put your whole foot up there, or we're going to be stepping back and up. 2, 1, here we go. If you're on the step, the foot stays there the whole time. Controlling down, eyes up, reach those arms up, push through that foot, extend the hip, good. And then controlling down, or using the arms on your chair or table as needed. Pull through, controlling down. I'm going to show you from the front. As you lower down, you want to make sure that knee is staying stable. So we want to keep that knee tracking straight on. We don't want it to dive in. Down, open, and control back. Good, maybe one more. Up and down. Fantastic. Set that foot off. Set that aside. Now here's where you can take a little rest break if you're feeling a little fatigued, or join us for the sway, a little bit more balance work, and then we'll do the opposite side of the body. So if you're going to do the sway, arms out to the sides, and we shift the weight to one side. You can either keep the toe on the ground or lift it up, and then over and across. Same thing other side. Nice. So practicing shifting your weight from one side to the other. Trying to pull everything up. So imagine you're kind of like Peter Pan about to fly up off the floor. You can relax those arms down in between and then reach. Beautiful. Down and lift up out of those hips. Good. That's 30 seconds. You can rest there or join us for all 40. Wonderful. Down and up, lift. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, there's the left side of the body. Now we got to do the same thing on the right. We're going to start with that bent over row. So set those feet into position. Pull that belly button in. When you're ready, 2, 1, here we go. Reaching forward, elbow high. So while we have a little bit longer intervals, we're going to do 2 rounds. Normally, oftentimes we do 3. Breathe in to reach. Exhale on the row. And we want to watch that we're not arching our back here. So kind of think about pulling that belly button in towards your spine without holding the breath. Good. Elbow straight up towards the ceiling. Pull that elbow high. Wonderful. That's 30 seconds. Rest there or keep going for another 10. Reaching forward, rowing through, and 2, 1, and rest. Good job. We go from the row to our step up or the giant step, okay? It's gonna be that same side of the body. So I'll show the step up. If you have a stair, if you get that whole foot on the step, that's ideal. Otherwise, do the best you can. And begin when you're ready. You're gonna keep that foot up on the stool the whole time. Opposite leg steps back. Up and open. Good control. Paying attention to what's going on at that knee. Good. We also want to watch the hips. The hips tend to want to kick out, so keep them as square as you can. That's our halfway. Drive that foot down into the stool. Push it down, creating that force. That's what makes the muscles strong. Push and open. That's 30 seconds. Good. Drive down, stand tall. And 2, 1, and rest there. All right, let's take a little break. If anyone's feeling extra peppy today, if you want to do like some march and punch, you can, but I recommend taking this minute off. And then we're gonna do it one more time through, coming back to our bent over row. So let's grab a little drink. Feel free to take a seat. Good job. All right, great work. 20 seconds, and we're gonna be back to your left arm bent over row. All right. And we have done a good amount of work today. So if you're like, hey, I'm done, hang out. We'll have 5 more minutes here, and then we'll finish with a couple cool down stretches. Otherwise, we're going to get into position. Your left arm, standing tall, set those feet about hip width apart, gently bowing forward. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Elbow up and in. Reach and row. Good. Pausing in the top. Very nice. Good. Keeping that full range of motion. How high can you pull that elbow? How far can you reach? Good. First 20 seconds. I'll try to tell you every 10 from here. Good. Great elbow position, Shirley. Pulling through. There you go. Nice. And that's 30 if anyone wants to take a break early. Reach and row. There's no shame or guilt in resting early. It's all about how your body's responding. And there's our 40, everybody. Second round of step ups on your left leg. And I'm going to show the reverse giant steps this time for anyone that doesn't have that stool around. So I'll set my left foot forward and we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. When you're ready, either keep the left foot on the stool or stepping the right foot back and up and forward. We do it all on one side. Back and up. Good job. Back and up. Wonderful. Those of you that have that step up, keep it working. And we're focused on similar things here, where that knee position. So we don't want this knee diving in, right? We want to keep it nice and aligned. That's our first 20 seconds. Whew, starting to feel that hip working on that side. So you want to keep the hips nice and level as well. Sometimes those hips will tend to kick out. So back and up, level hips. Stable knees. Good, Laura. Last one. Stand tall and rest. Whew. All right, let's rock those hips side to side. Nice work. Now we're just going to do a little short sway here. So either take a break or join me for 20 seconds of a sway. Standing tall, arms reach wide. And if you're joining us, shifting to one side, up and across, shifting to the other. Good. Down, you can relax those arms down in between sides, give those shoulders a break. Down as I shift my weight, up and lift. Good, maybe one more time each way. Lift and hold. Down and across, lift and hold. And everybody rest. All right, we just have to finish out this opposite side, going back to that bent over row in your right arm. We'll start in 10. Set those feet out hip width apart. Pull the belly button in as you bow forward. Reach that arm forward. And when you're ready, chin in, elbow high. Breathe in to reach. Exhale on that row. Wonderful. How high can you pull the elbow? You got those little imaginary friends hanging out in your ceiling. They've got that string attached to the back of the elbow, and they're pulling your elbow up for you. Nice and high. Good. The higher the elbow, the more you set that shoulder blade back towards the spine. That's 30 seconds. Reach, row, reach. Good, almost done. 2, 1, and there's our 40. Wonderful. All right, we just got to balance out that same side leg. So either going back to your step stool, your stairs, or joining me for this giant step. Set your right foot forward or right foot on the stair, standing tall. 2, 1, and go. So left foot steps back, right foot stays forward. Nice. Back and down. Good. Really trying to kind of grip the toes down. Paying attention to that knee. Whew, using those legs. Back and up. Wonderful. That's 20 seconds. Good. There you go. Reach and open. That's 30 seconds. Final 10. Good work. And 3, 2, 1. Everybody rest. All right, fantastic. There you go. Taking a seat. If your water's nearby, let's grab a little drink. Let's get about 5 minutes of stretching here to finish out our session. All right. So let's open up the upper body. Feet nice and flat on the ground. Start with your left arm. If you can reach it up, we're gonna do our little tricep side bend. So you'll bend the elbow, pull the chin in, reach up, and then you're gonna stretch to the side. Good. Breathe in and exhale. Breathe in and out. Very good. Up and down, and lower those arms down. Shake them out, shake them, shake them, shake them. Shake the wrist. Rotate through the elbows. Good, rotate them the other way. Very nice, and relax them down. All right, let's balance out the upper body. Opposite arm reaches up, chin pulls in. How tall can you sit? Trying to make that triple chin with your head. Grab that arm. Stay here if this is a tough posture for you, or if you're good to take it to that side bend. Breathe in and out. Good. Couple more. And last one. And release those hands down. All right, from here, we're gonna go into like a little kind of cat-cow position. Kind of walk your feet out, bring your hands onto the bottom of the thighs, and now we're gonna think about curling forward. Pull that chin into the chest, pull your belly button in, round forward, exhale. And then as you breathe in, lift the chest, slide the hands back slightly, pull the shoulders back and turn your head up. Looking up. Good, about 2 or 3 more times. Rounding forward, pull that chin in. Kind of rounding that back, reaching down and up and in, shoulders back, lifting up, looking up. One more time. Slide the hands forward, bow the head down, blow the air out. Breathe the air in, rounding those shoulders back, lift the chest, lift the head, and release. All right. Mid-back rotations from the seated position. Right hand behind the head. You're good for that. And then sitting tall, bringing that elbow towards your left thigh. It's okay if you can't quite touch it. Use your left hand on the inside of that left knee to just gently give yourself a little overpressure as you turn and look over that right shoulder. Do that about 5 times. Curl in, round down, sit tall, and pivot, turning the eyes. 3 more. Breathe in as you close in, and then exhale as you rotate. Last one. And relax there. Good job. Same thing, opposite side. Sit tall, hand back, curl in, up, and pivot. 5 total. Using that right hand on the inside of the right knee. Just nice and gentle. Maybe 2 more. You want to really take your time as you turn, kind of pulling that elbow back, get a little opening through the chest. And finish it out. Fantastic. All right, if you've got some energy to come back up to your feet, I'd like to finish with a little bit more openings for your hip flexors, and we're gonna do a little calf stretch as well, and then we'll be all done. All right, otherwise, call it a day. So for the hip flexors, you can do that stretch we did earlier on where you reach the hip forward and rotate the body or just flex it back. or if you can grab your foot, that's what I'll encourage here. Balancing as needed, looking to grab that foot, getting a nice stretch for that quad. This is a great stretch to do if your knees are feeling stiff. A lot of times the quad gets tight and puts extra tension on that knee joint. And it's not an easy thing to grab that foot, so just be gentle with yourself. Release when you need to, or 3, 2, 1, set it down. Same thing other side. So again, the alternative would be the hip rock here with that stagger stance, or grabbing that foot. Very nice. You can balance or support. Very good. About 10 more seconds. And go ahead and release that side. All right, and then just the calf stretch. So depending if you have that stool or that stair nearby, we can use that. If you don't have anything nearby, you can just place your heel down, place your toe up against the side of the wall, a door frame. I'm using the leg of the chair here. Or if you have a stair that you're confident to stand on, I can come up on the stairs, drop my heel off the back, have the ball of the foot on the stair, and then just ever so gently lower that heel down. Get a nice stretch for the back of the calf. Sinking back. And then here you can either keep it straight on, just holding that stretch, or you can just ever so gently think about bringing that knee forward, you know, and it's like just a slight movement here, maybe about 2 inches forward. And then I extend it back out, bringing that knee slightly forward and extend, just changing up the area of the calf that you're stretching. All right, bringing that heel down, same thing, opposite side. So either heel down, toe up, or lower that heel off the stair, off your stool. Very good. Stretching out those calves is a great thing to do on the daily if you can. You know, they tend to get tight just walking around throughout the day. If you want to add that little knee dip, just gently bringing that knee forward, extending that leg out, knee slightly forward, extend. Maybe one more. And rest. All right, everybody. Diane's jumping in to say hello. So anything else that your body's asking for? Keeping yourself rotating if you feel stiff in your back, shoulders up and down, some neck circles, all that good stuff to keep you happy and healthy. Stay hydrated. Enjoy some vegetables, and we hope to see you next time.